Okay, so the lesson for today. Now, actually about a month ago, I did a mastermind with 2 other MAPS coaches in Austin. Some of you were there. And it was all around this idea of a 10-year goal, or really the question being, where will I be in 10 years? And if you're not familiar with that, then what I would invite you to do is go to our site, and we're using a different URL now, myfreedlife.com. Maps Coach Jordan still works if you've bookmarked that, but myfreedlife.com, and the first growth tool should be, where will I be in 10 years? And I would invite you to go out, watch that video, and read the letters that are out there. There's one from Craig Zuber, who's a great MAPS coach that is the person that kind of originated with all this and started it all. And then there's my letter, the one that I wrote for us 10 years from today. And if you haven't gone through that exercise, I would really invite you to do that this week. And there's downloads and prompts and all things that you would need there. But you know, inside of MAPS, we've been having this conversation about a life by design, right? And I believe it all kind of has 3 parts. It's design your life, build your business, fuel your purpose. And the whole principle behind that is that your life by design, the business is supposed to be in service to that, not in sacrifice to it. You're not supposed to sacrifice your business in service to the business, okay? And so the kind of the tone that we're taking in MAPS right now is this whole idea of really taking the time to get clear on what a life by design works for you or is for you, okay? And so today I just want to take you through a quick exercise in order to just give you another perspective on this. Now, the first thing is it comes from, the first idea is this thing that comes from the 5 regrets of the dying. So I'm going to share my screen here with you so that you all can see this. But I think this is really key, and I would invite you to do a little research on this. But here are the 5 regrets of the dying. This comes from a hospice nurse. I believe she was in somewhere in Europe. I don't remember exactly. But the first one is, I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. The second one is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. And this is one that, you know, I think it's worth noting in the description here, that this came from every male patient that I nursed. They missed their children's youth and their partner's companionship. Women also spoke of this regret, but as most were from an older generation, many of the female patients had not been breadwinners. That's changed. Right? A lot of the people on this call are actually breadwinners. And so I want you to understand that's not just male, female, but at the bottom section of this one, by simplifying your lifestyle, making conscious choices along the way, it is possible to not need the income that you think you do. And by creating more space in your life, you become happier and more open to new opportunities, ones more suited to your new lifestyle. The third one is, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Now, I think a lot of that, and especially in today's world, for all of us high producing achievers, the reason we don't stay in touch with our friends is because we're typically focused too much on our business. And then the last one is, I wish I had let myself be happier. And I think that really lends to getting out of this consistent fight or flight, right? So fight being this perceived threat that we're always looking for. In fact, I have one client that a few weeks ago shared with me that she makes lists of things that she thinks she should be worried about to keep herself on her toes, which I thought was a really interesting thing, right? But here's what I want you to do, is to be able to take this and turn it into an actual exercise. And I'll post this link in the chat box. In fact, Ryan, can you go ahead and do that? And what I want you to do is either draw the wheel of life on a sheet of paper, or you can find this on our site. It's under the growth tool with values. But I want you to draw this out. And in the top one here, I want you to write the first regret. I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. So in that top section, just write true to myself. In the next one, you're going to write working so hard. In the next one, expressing my feelings. And then it was staying in touch with my friends and then letting myself be happier. And what I'm looking for here is for all of you to give me kind of an understanding of where you are with the 5 regrets of the dying. So if you're looking at this and, you know, the first one being, I wish I had the courage to live true to myself, and you're doing this at a 10, meaning, you know what, I kind of march to the beat of my own drum, and I make my own rules and I follow my own rules, and I don't need anybody else's input in order to do that. I'm an independent person, and I'm very strong in my values. That's a 10. If everybody else is dictating everything that you do, feel, say, then you're at a 0. And here's what I want you to do is I want you to go around that wheel of life, and I want you to score yourself, 10 being I'm doing really well in this area, 0 being I'm totally sucking ass, and I want you to draw it. Is everybody with me on this? Either take yourself off mute or give me a thumbs up. And you're like, thanks, Jordan, for starting my week talking about how we're going to die. You're welcome.
Got it.
You're welcome. So I care enough about you if you're on this call to have a tough conversation with you. And where it started is, if you haven't already, go check out the 10-year question. Where will I be in 10 years? Write yourself a letter. Now, Rainmakers, again, I'm not looking for some big, thick organizational chart with big economic models. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for your inner vision. I want to know where the inner real estate of you will be in 10 years. And we know what makes people happy. Number 1, stop pursuing happiness. Happiness is like sleep. The more you pursue it, the more it will evade you. The second piece to what actually drives happiness, deep interpersonal relationships. And the longest study on human behavior has conclusively found this. If you want to check that out, go to our latest, or the newsletter we sent out 2 weeks ago, and there's a TED Talk on this, and it's called The Love Study. But I would love for all of you to participate in this and either email it to me, text it to me, but I want to see where you are. And then I want to know what you're going to do about it. Because if you're on track to realize one of these regrets, the cool thing is we've still got time to change it. Okay? So that is our lesson for the week.